I'm the only one without a webcam.
All right, buddies. Welcome to the very first North American Future Card Buddyfight live stream. I am your host, Jonathan Mindham. I'm joined today with a... Did we have someone leave already? There we go. He's back in. Tim, I'm like, it's too early to be dropping. I'm not that boring.
I don't know.
But welcome to the very first live stream. I'm joined with a wonderful group of gentlemen that are going to be here helping me break down the game, break down what's going on in our community, and also talk about some wonderful topics. I'm going to just kind of give a brief introduction to a few of these guys, and then they can go off. I'd like to start. Actually, we'll start with Austin, since I see that little fun character in the window there.
Gosh. All right. Hello. I'm Austin. Austin
Sorry,
Summers.
now you're Tetsuo.
Oh, awesome, Tetsuya. You may know me from such things as Buddy Challenge, first place in LA, and then second at Continentals, as well as the Thank You Festival first place, which is not really a qualifier, but it's a qualifier enough.
Pretty good. What deck were you using for each of those events?
Dungeon World, as usual. The only thing I play.
All right.
I was first. It's okay.
All right, Blake.
Hello. I'm an admin on the North American Future Card Buddyfight, and I'm a Katana World user.
Oh, well, there we go. Jason.
Hello. I'm also an admin on the North American Future Card Buddyfight group, and I have no titles to my name because I'm a scrub.
Me too.
Thanks. I'm a drug user.
What?
Oh.
All right, Edgardo, how about you, sir?
Oh, me?
Edgardo?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine, Edgardo.
Yeah, my name is Edgardo, or by some people know me as Eddie. I'm here from Arizona. Austin Summers is actually a teammate. We're part of Team Dragonic Fury. I did join him with my first tournament there at Bushi Road Festival. I played Danger World Armor Knights, rocked it with the 5 Buddy Rares while everyone kind of turned their heads while he walked past my table. It was pretty fun. Other than that, I've been in the community since it started. Jonathan got me in there, as well as Jason. Mainly just been a trader, information, stuff like that. But kind of just been in the community and enjoying it, looking to see how it's going.
He's very modest because he was like the #1 trader for a long time. And then this man, Mr. Michael.
Yeah, hi guys. Most of you guys know me from trading on here. I did a lot of trades with most of you guys throughout the last few months since the game started. I actually had to work really hard to get past Edgardo. It had been my goal for a long time. So, sorry about that, man. But my titles, basically I got 3rd place in the New York White Plains qualifier in the first season, and I got top 8 at the Continentals. In the Ohio qualifiers, I got top 8, and unfortunately this round of seasons I got knocked out round 6 in Albany through my own fault, and then I got knocked out round 6 in Georgia. But I will be attending to judge anyway. So
you're coming to Chicago.
Yep, I'll be there.
Awesome. What decks were you playing in your few championship rounds and things?
Last season, I main decked my 72 Pillars. That's my baby. That's my love right there. A lot of people have seen my profile picture. I have all 32 Magic World SPs. I have every card SP as a playset. I love the deck. It's amazing. But this season, I played Danger World in Albany, and the funny part was round 6. I was actually knocked out by 72 Pillars in round 6. And then in Georgia, I was playing Darkness Dragon World and got knocked out round 6 as well by Legend World.
Legend World, all right. And then last but not least, Mr. Tim.
Well, as far as Trader Fs go, I have a whopping 2 with you guys.
Come on, Tim, you got to get out there. Gotta put your name in.
I'm like halfway there. I'm halfway. I'm right there. I'm right next to you.
Michael, how many do you have? 140?
Yeah, 2's half of 140. I'm pretty much known as the guy who plays that other game, but I've been taking a liking to Buddyfight a lot more, and I've been switching over to Buddyfight. As far as what I've done and what I've topped, I did win the Gen Gen Con Buddy Fight tournament, which wasn't a qualifier, but it was nice, you know, beating a glorified locals with 13 people. I top 8'd in Tennessee with Burn Deck, which a lot of people have been saying hasn't really been viable, and it's not. And then I got knocked out by Brandon Chimiel in Chicago when he was trying to lose because I'm probably the worst buddy fighter ever.
I don't know. You and Jason should have a match.
That's true.
We'd be too busy crying on each other's shoulders.
We're a support team.
Oh, wonderful. And last but not least, myself, I have no accolades in this community whatsoever yet. Just happen to be an admin of it and an admin lover of the game. So with that being said and all of our introductions, I want to go right into this. I sent these guys an agenda earlier, and first thing I want to talk about is actually the state of the game. Like, and when I say that, like, I mean, like, what are your overall thoughts on this? Like, this game has only been around for now a year. Not even a year. Official release was the end of January, and Bushiroad itself as a company has brought us two, I would say, large-scale tournaments. Obviously, a couple of you have participated in both events so far, and some of you will be coming to Chicago for the Nationals and hopefully do really well. But with that being said, where do you feel this game right now is where it should be, kind of thing? Like, are we hurting because of the fan base? Is it there? Is it not there? Like, do you guys need me to keep babbling, or like, is that enough to go off of?
Well,
So quiet. I hate quiet. So, there we go.
I don't know. I mean, just between all of us and even on the forum page, we've already seen how big of a group we've created. I mean, you guys started that page. What are we at right now?
Almost 1,800.
1795. Not even a
5
year.
away.
Come on, guys. If you're not signed up, sign up.
Yeah, if you guys were watching this.
You randomly found this
Guys, sign up,
stream
sign up.
on, YouTube.
But that's the thing, though. Even like the Future Card Buddyfight page, it's got like 26,000 likes on it. Like,
Right.
so I mean, like, is that an accurate depiction of the community, or is this just people who are like, oh, I like this because it's something?
Surprisingly enough, from what I've noticed, is it's really sporadic across the U.S. right now. I mean, Austin has already gotten more locals into the game. Started off with me getting him into the game, thankfully, and he's an awesome person ever since, and he's taken a liking to the game. In terms of that, though, even when I was at the events that I was asking around, people were like, oh, yeah, my local shop has Buddy Fight. I've been trying to get people into it. Or even then, doing some roaming online through Facebook, there's a huge player base, even in like the UK and the other areas. So it's slowly progressing into becoming one of those card games that we're gonna see here and there.
Do you think like another year, like I mean, if who's played Vanguard when it first came out? Like, I know a lot of it. Like,
I didn't.
Jason Blake.
I actually did too.
Jim,
Yeah.
you played
With
right when it
just
came
set
out.
one,
Right.
yeah. I played with just set one in the two
when
trucks.
that game came out, and I remember even having this conversation with Jason and Blake, was like, this game's gonna die. Like, it just doesn't have the support, and now look at it. I mean, it is a big game, but it's not obviously like Magic or Pokemon size or Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's getting there. Like, so do you feel that the game will get to that point? I mean, especially after the year that it's had. Like, I mean,
for me,
especially in the English meta.
For me, I feel it's a little difficult of a task. I've talked to a lot of players when I play in the Vanguard tournaments and qualifiers and whatnot, and I always tell them, oh, I play Buddy Fight. Like, oh, you do. And I usually get, oh, it's a lot like Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't find it fun, or the name is just stupid. And the name is one that always gets me. I'm like, and they can't see past the name, or they don't like a few of the game mechanics. They only give it one shot. They don't want to go in depth to the game, so they kind of just back away. And so I find once we get past that name reputation of, oh, it's Buddy Fight, maybe you can start getting a better reputation, and you start spreading, hey, it's a good game. Ignore the Buddy Fight.
Do you call it? Do you tell people like, hey, you should come play Buddy Fight, or do you say like Future Card Buddy Fight, or like what do they immediately say when like what is their reaction when you say Buddy Fight?
Well, when I say Buddy Fight, people are like, oh, Buddy Fight. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, ugh.
Do they feel it's childish? Like when
They
they
do
hear
feel
the name.
challenged.
That's what a lot of people that I've talked to have noticed as well. It's like they feel like it's just a child's game, but really it has a lot more depth even than Vanguard, which
I was just gonna
a
say,
lot of
like,
people in the beginning said, "Hey, it's a child's game," and now look how crazy popular.
now I'm gonna ask this to Tim. Tim, you play many games. Do you feel this is a child's game?
Honestly, the hilarious thing that I think is that, your games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And your games like Magic are supposed to be children's trading card games. We are adults who play children's trading card games. I haven't seen a single person that's not old enough to drink play Buddy Fight. So, that being said, I don't think that the
21.
presentation for children is really that important because we're all playing these children's trading card games anyway.
Yeah. All right. So, Michael, with your locals, you guys obviously do really well. What is it like when you go in and you play, and what is the perception from the other people in your community about the game?
It kind of depends on who you're talking to over there. Because originally it started out, we had the demo way back before the game even first started. So they did the demo day, people showed up for it, but nobody was really taking an interest in the game. We first heard about it at the qualifiers in Hop Hog Long Island, that they were going to release Future Card Buddyfight, and everybody was like, what is this? This game looks stupid. They handed out the Japanese promo drums, and we were all like, oh, well, whatever. But when the game came out, nobody was playing it. My friend sat down, and he was like, oh, I might as well learn it. You never know. So I sat down with him, and for 6 hours, we sat there and we played it. And at first, it was a lot of disgust. And there was this one guy who pretty much people talk to a lot about Vanguard. He's kind of some of you guys actually might know him as John Toto, and he said the game was bad because the game was too fast, and a lot of people didn't play it because of that. But as my friend and I sat down over the next 2 weeks, people started picking up, and then my friends were the ones who were like, all right, we'll play it with you, and they swore they wouldn't get into it for serious, but then they got dragged in, as you guys have met. Christian Nieves, John Muir, you might have met. So now the game has spread around us, and it's accepted as a game, and a lot of people play it, but it's kind of like that side game that people pick up a deck for. I have a White Schwartz deck, and I only have the White Schwartz deck in case somebody goes, oh, you want to play? Oh, yeah, you play Buddy Fight? No, I have Yu-Gi-Oh! And White Schwartz. Oh, let's play White Schwartz then. Same thing like my DBZ deck. It's one of those side games a lot of people play. The big people that play, we usually have our 10-person tournaments every week.
Okay. All right. Jason, what do you feel about the game right now? What is the worst thing about the game? What's hurting the game in the community?
Well, when we have, look at Konami, their game is Yu-Gi-Oh! They have one game they're supporting and trying to get, as successful as possible. You look at Wizards of the Coast. They've had a few games along the way, but ultimately they've only ever supported Magic as the, main front game. So when we look at Bushiroad, you have Cardfight Vanguard. It's clearly their main game. They give it the most attention, the most press, the most everything. And then you have the side projects, essentially, which is, why Schwartz was easy because it's a bunch of screenshots from animes that they put some mechanics to. And then you have, Buddy Fight, which is their, own original thing as well. Much like Vanguard. And I think they're trying to give it attention. I think they want to grow it. But, with them already continuing to, do the new stage of Vanguard, I don't, instead of giving, Vanguard kind of like a back seat and, pushing Buddy Fight forward, they're just, making a new Vanguard for people to come to, So I think with that said, they have 3 titles that they're trying to get successful, but they're never going to be successful, with Buddy Fight in particular if they keep, doing all this stuff for the other 2. I think it's kind of like a lottery for them, right? It's let's throw 3 games out there, see which one's the most successful, and then support that one, the one that is, most successful, which, of course, was the first one they brought to America. Let's keep supporting that, Yeah. I don't know, that's just my take on it.
One thing that you have to keep in mind is that in Japan, White Schwartz is huge, if not potentially bigger than Vanguard there. So, it might not be the most popular here, but it is pretty big. And they're not overly separately supporting it from the U.S. and Japan too much.
The big thing with Weiss Schwartz, though, there's so many copyright issues with their materials to get all that stuff here. I mean, they're releasing sets completely out of order as to where they were. So, they have copyrights and things like that.
But those sets are irrelevant to each other. I mean, it's not like you're mixing stuff together.
Yeah. No, but like some of the stuff that's coming up is already they've already released better stuff. Why buy this stuff that's older but is technically new to us? You know, like. I mean, like that's the big thing with the community is people will play what they love, because it's based on anime. But overall competitiveness, you know, people aren't exactly picking it up for that reason.
Well, I mean, from what I've seen, both locally and like even just with the festival tournament that we were at, Weiss Wars was the second biggest tournament there. Like it took up a decent amount of that player base, and I know California is huge in the Japanese Weiss Wars community. Now, Weiss Wars is pretty huge in Japan. Like it is probably second to Vanguard in terms of their community. Now, the reason why it's not big here, as you said, we're not getting enough product fast enough, but they also can't just pump out sets fast and faster because then they're gonna eventually just have all this product. And no one's going to want to buy it because it's going to be
Vanguard it.
So it's like, yeah, exactly. It's going to be like, oh, hey, you released Kill la Kill. Oh, well, no, Nisekoi is like 3 months later. I'll just wait for that, and I just won't pick up Kill la Kill. And in terms of that aspect, actually, Nisekoi is breaking the meta in Japan, and guess what America decided to do? That's their next set that they're releasing in January. They're releasing the sets that will sell, not the sets that are just out. They release the sets that sell. Kill la Kill was huge in America. What did they do? They brought it. Same with Fairy Tail. It got huge in America. They brought it to America.
Don't forget that Sao.
That Sao, yeah. Sao is one of their golden tickets. That is now getting what? An extra booster set, and then there's still a continuation of the anime for to be 2 more seasons, I believe, if they do it right. If not 4, depending on how long they exaggerate it.
And they're reprinting a set too, right? Madoka. They're reprinting that. So
they reprinted Madoka, right? Because that was a heavily requested set, and the prices for those cards went skyrocketed. Like you had commons and uncommons that were like $20.
Yeah.
it's kind of ridiculous, but like even reprints were hard to pull off. Like Madoka's been out for I don't know, a year and a half, I think, and then it was out of like the thing about Weiss Wars is the sets go out of print rather quickly. So like Sao 1 was out of print. That's why it got reprinted. People want to pick up Sao now.
Got it.
I mean, Kill la Kill went out of print, I believe, already. English.
Really?
Yeah, like they only support so much. They only support so much in terms of Weiss Wars. Not like Vanguard where they just mass print and then send it out. Because the other thing that we've seen with Weiss is that there's a lot of misprints in English. A lot of misprints.
That's any Bushiroad game.
Yeah.
What I want to move on and get to Blake. Blake, what is one of the better qualities of this game right now that you feel? Like, what is the one thing that it has going for it?
For Buddyfight?
Yeah, for Buddyfight.
Or even with Japan. Like, one of the big things with Vanguard, and I know I'm guilty of doing this, is when we know sets are coming out in the future, we skip other sets. So, like, I know for a fact I didn't buy anything out of 11 or 12 or till 13 came out because I knew 13 was coming out. Whereas we're even with Japan, so it's not like Japan's getting it. We see what's out there, what's winning, so we can hold off and buy the sets we want. It's even.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we get to learn and build our stuff just as much as they have to do it themselves. So our meta's vastly different than theirs can be.
Interesting. Now, while we're kind of on that, Tim, do you think going into like the world, like does that play a huge factor? Like, do you think like for the first time, like in a Bushiroad game, that plays a huge factor in what people will be playing now? Like the whole world will be watching, the World Championship for that very reason. No, or what do you think?
I think it's going to be kind of a mix because I definitely see that there's a fairly established meta in the Singapore region and there's a fairly established meta in the Japanese region. And it makes things kind of difficult as to how our Dungeon World meta will reflect versus the Thunder Knights meta that's really, really heavy in the Indonesian area and Singapore area. So it makes things a little complicated because we're all learning and adapting and doing our own strategies at our own paces, and the metas for each country are so vastly different. I think it's going to be a pretty hefty mix for a while.
So what in your mind is one really bad thing about the game right now? What hurts the game? Other than the name. Other than the name, what hurts the game right now?
Honestly, I think that the trial decks that they release are boring. I give someone an Asgard deck, Wombo Combo Legend World deck, and they have a blast playing it. It might not be that good, it might not be super efficient, it might have its inconsistencies, but when they do the Gleipnir into the Fimbulvinter, into the Ragnarok, into the Iceblade Joker, they love it, and they want to see more of it.
Got it. Okay. Michael, what is one good thing about this game right now?
My favorite thing about the game is the intensity level it hits. You see, like all the time, we're having so many arguments online about the comprehensive rules, what works, what doesn't work. But once you get down to it, and you finally do crack it, and you can figure it out, that game is highly skill intensive. Like, despite the name being very childish, and people looking at like, oh, buddy fight. The people that haven't tried, they're like, oh, the game's simple, the game's fast. Not once you play it, when you realize that you have to make the right moves at the right time. Like, it's not like Vanguard where it's just, okay, this turn I can hit up to 2 triggers, and where do I want to put them? And there's only so many options you can make. This game, there's so many different options, so many different ways to do things. The game is a lot more vast than people realize, and that's probably one of my favorites.
What's your one? Eddie, what is one bad thing about the game right now? What is one thing in your mind that's bad?
One bad thing about the game so far?
Yeah, what do you feel like is what hurts the game?
What's hurting the game right now, from what I've noticed, is really just product availability. I know we here online have, vast vendors, or we'll go to the stores, but some people just don't even have access to Buddy Fight. Like, some of the people are on the forums are like, oh, my locals doesn't have the store, where can I buy them online? And half the time, some of those people don't have, because, again, the age gap for this game right now, as Michael had stated earlier, it's kind of a lot lower. So some of us will pick them up, some of us aren't, but even then, it comes down to the locals whether they're even supporting the game or not. Because I know some of them, have Buddy Fight product, but they're not pushing it. And with that, the game isn't able to grow.
Got it.
So,
Austin, what is one good thing about the game right now?
One good thing in terms of what?
Like, what's working for it? What's making this game so people want to play it?
Oh gosh, that's
other than you.
Personal experience. It's a little bit. I don't know. It's a little biased for me because personally, I really enjoy how the interaction and the counter spells, all this crazy stuff works. It feels a lot like a Yu-Gi-Oh in a way, without all the massive summoning, smashing face, and then everything dies in the next turn. It's a little bit more strategy, I felt, and when I started getting into Buddy Fight heavily, it was after Vanguard got to set 12, set 13. I was just getting really tired of it. Misrides were happening all the time. I played some Weiss, and Climax has always kind of got on my nerves. And then when I played Buddy Fight, there was no sacking for a heal until, Glory Seeker came out. But other than that, yeah. Other than that, I mean, it's when you have an assured victory, you can't be cheesed out of it by something that's very common occurrence, unless you can lose to an impact randomly. It happens, even if it's not a really good impact. But if you have an assured win, and you did a great strategy and it all went out perfectly, then hey, it's gonna work for you. You're not just gonna, oh, whoops, he got a heal. Oh, shucks, guess I lose. Thanks for playing.
I agree with that a lot, actually. My biggest thing with what I feel like what hurting this game right now is secondary market. We have so many people in our group that do a lot of trading and things, but no one has a really good outlet to go and find commons, singles. There's not a very good website that always has them in stock. So if anyone ever is interested in getting into this game, I always feel like they're so oh, I don't want to go buy a whole box, and I'm not even guaranteed everything, and or if you are a foil person, you have to spend $5 or $6 on a common foil, just to try to find that. So I feel like that hurts a lot of things because people who do collect or want to have a shiny deck or who want to play this game but don't want to go and invest greatly can't easily get the product single-wise and things like that as well. But what I want to talk about, and Mike, you brought this up a little bit, and we've talked about this, is the rules, the state of the game with the rules. And I was talking to Tim before the live stream started, was all these rules that they're now clarifying, like right when we're going into the national championship. But that's been such a huge issue. Michael, I've judged one of your matches in Chicago, and like there were such ruling problems with some of these things. Is that another downfall, or is that another thing where maybe they'll just start making clarified text like they did kind of with Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, do you guys feel that's a issue with this game right now?
I don't think it's an issue as far as people can tend to read and understand and misinterpret. Like when they just updated the rules, and you see like it has a new outline and stuff like that. But you had people who were like, "Oh guys, check out these rule changes." I read it over and nothing changed. And later Christian Larson had confirmed that nothing had changed. And then even a few people that I regularly play with, they're like, "Yo, Mike, what changed?" I was like, "Nothing." Like, this is all stuff I've been telling you guys. This is stuff I have talked about, and at many of the events, you'll see me talking with JD and arguing with him. I even had him rescind some of his rulings after he looked at the comprehensive a little more. So, like, it is as it is. People just misinterpreted, or they didn't have access to the knowledge. Like, some people can't go to the events and talk to JD. Some people aren't able to get in contact with Christian. Some people don't send emails to Bushiroad. The rules are thorough, and nothing's really changed. But my group's been prepared for this for a long time.
Okay, Tim, what do you think about the rules in the state? Because we talked about it. What do you feel like? Are there too many issues with the rules? Are there too many changes with the rules? Are they finally set in stone? Are they a good place to continue forward?
I feel that for the most part, everything's set in stone. We have a lot more clarity, and I know that when I was at Gen Con, I was told that you couldn't use Gappaku Giri if you had used a counterspell in combat, and then now battle resolution and on-destruction abilities are considered outside of combat, so now you can use multiple Gappaku Giri in response to a card being destroyed and then destroy multiple things. And having the clarity has really helped to really put a good focus on where the rules should be. But now that we have the clarifications, all they've really done is just tell us exactly how I was told to judge it before, so I'm not really sure that there's anything that's going to change openly from how the Bushiroad events are run.
Okay. Austin, rules. Do you feel they're good? Do you feel they're at the point where people now can easily comprehend them? Or do you feel that there's going to be a change in the game going forward in the way how they...
I'll be honest. I think they can be pretty solid, but knowing Bushiroad, I mean, they always change rules. No matter what card game you play, they will change the rules. So suddenly something new is going to come out, a new card is going to come out, it's going to change the rules. If you look at Vanguard past experiences, you have Vermilion change the rules to a perfect guard protecting all unit, or only one unit instead of all units, which people thought it could do, because Vermilion used to do that. Or that was a problem issue.
Yeah.
Multiple other rulings have come up, and I know when the game first started out, they changed the link attack ruling completely. They had like, oh, you can link attack first turn. It's like, oh, nope, never mind, you can't do that. But we are changing the criticals and adding the criticals and powers so they start stacking up when you link attack. And I think this is because Dungeon World and Adventures came out. So when new decks come out, they kind of change the rules to suit that deck. It makes sense. So while we have like timing rules, I think that'll be fine for now. Certain other rules, of course, will come out and change as the game progresses, just as an evolution of the game itself, which I'm personally fine with, but I've never had any issues with the rules myself.
Okay.
That's just me.
Jason, do you feel that the rules are pretty steady right now? Like, are we at a good point? I mean, like, having even just played remotely in the online tournament here, you feel people know the rules? Like, are they comprehending them?
Yeah, I didn't see any issue with the rules when we were playing the games. People just need to read the rules and be aware of rules. I know, in my mind, the biggest questioning of rules was maybe a month or two ago before Set 4 got released, and everyone was wondering what the fuck does, Jackknife Goldritter do? What are the rules with regards to his defense? What is this defense? Me and you had this conversation until like 3 a.m. one night, and we were trying to translate, the Japanese rules because they had them posted, but we didn't have the FAQ yet. And so if people just go to the site, read the FAQs, they'll be familiar with the rules. And that's the thing, is the judges actually have to be familiar with those rules and know how to make the right, calls. So I think the rules are there. We just need to follow them and read them.
No, I agree. I'm an avid component of reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Player syndrome is they don't know how to read cards.
Yeah, MST negates.
Wait, you mean it doesn't? I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
And mayonnaise misses timing. So, do you guys feel right now where the game is at, like with what we have and what's been released? Is it a pretty balanced game right now? Like, is this like
Dungeon World OP?
Hey
Okay.
now.
Hey
now.
I'm just going to say, I think there's a lot of people here who agree.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Is Dungeon World, given the little support that it have, given too good of support? Tim, go.
More Continental World support.
We're getting it. You're getting it. Tim, what do you think? Do you feel Dungeon World has got too much support? Or too much good support? Like, it didn't get the crap that, like, Danger World, Dungeon World got. It just got really good stuff right away.
I feel that it's the toolboxing that was the real issue. The toolboxing coupled with the fact that every single type of card other than their spells are labeled as adventurers, and if there is an adventurer spell, then that would also be fishable. I think that mission card Form a Party should cost a gauge when you play the second mission card to go fish something out. But all that aside, it's a little bit too late to redesign the cards or errata them. So mission card Form a Party is pretty much the only card I really have a problem with.
And
other than that, I think that
starter deck.
Yeah. Other than that, I think that all of the other worlds are pretty much close to each other in power. I think Danger World, Magic World, and Dungeon World are a little bit stronger, and Dragon World is up there, but it's kind of in a weird spot.
Even though Dragon World's been in every set so far.
Right. Dragon World has a lot of support, but I don't necessarily feel like all of that support is quality support. And they also have a ridiculous amount of archetypes. So they don't... They also...
Sorry.
I was going to say, they also don't have a lot of mechanics that other decks have either. And I mean, look at their card draw. Look at Drago Genius. Wow. I mean, Drago Archer is amazing, but
I feel like with Dragon World and what they are trying to accomplish with it is become a toolbox set within itself. Like, adventurers definitely have the answers to what they need. Of course, there are some things that they're missing, but it doesn't even falter with them because they can hit hard enough. Whereas with Dragon World, it seems like they've been releasing all these archetypes, not only because, main character support, but it's also more of a toolkit. So that one set of expansion for Dragon World, you can play really any type of deck you want. You can play a full Penetrate deck. You can play an All Dragons deck. You can play a Heal deck, a Jackknife deck, a Drum deck now even. There's, already 8 forms of drums probably been released already in Japan, and I'm sure we're going to get those soon. Heck, there's even a Drum Jackknife Dragon.
I want to hear more about this full penetration that you're talking about.
Yeah, there's
message him later. Message him later.
That's not fetish.
Make sure you guys use blue dragon shields if you're using penetration.
It's all about that white dragon shield.
All right, Blake. Actually, let's go to you. What is Dungeon World 2 OP, and what worlds? What do you not like playing against? Let's go with that.
Ancient World.
What is it?
Seeger.
Ancient World.
That damn Seeger, man, because I finally kill him, and then his next form comes out, and then I gotta kill that damn thing. I just want a freaking dark hole card. Just kill it. Just done. Deal.
That's what Magic World's for.
Yeah, and Damn the Dragon.
Magic World I hate too, because you keep bouncing shit back out of your field.
What do you like?
Keep it on the field.
Keep it.
I want more Continental World support, and I want my damn Hero World.
We'll
my
get to
Transformers.
Katana World. I actually haven't had too much experience playing against that, but
I need to finish it. I need my Tsuchikargis.
Michael, Dungeon World, 2 OP, just right, overbalanced. Do you hate playing against it?
The only reason I really hate playing against it is because, like I said, I love playing 72 pillars, but the matchup's extremely hard because with the link attack mechanics, your Solomon shields go pretty dead pretty quick. I don't think Dungeon World is undefeatable, considering that I've built so many decks like that. You build it to play against Dungeon World, and it plays fine against every other deck too. But I think the big problem card, like Timothy had mentioned, Form a Party, I don't even think that card's too big of a problem. The biggest card I find a problem with is Tetsuya.
Well, hey now.
Oh,
man.
Someone just got aggro.
The problem. The problem is with Tetsuya. Tetsuya just speeds up the deck to ridiculous amounts, where it becomes hard for any deck. It even puts Dragon World, where so much hate was on the Dragon World shields for having so many of them. But an aggro dungeon deck, like they don't care about the shields. When you link with Drum and Tetsuya, and and they block that because they don't want to take 4, well now take 3. The difference is only 1, but you have to do that every turn, adding in a potential weapon or a size 0. It's a lot, and the mission cards are fine. You can get your resources back. Continue's fine. You can get your resources back. Other decks have cards that get your resources back. It's just Tetsuya makes it really fast. Like, the only OTKs are with Tetsuya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have Tetsuya. Tetsuya's the card. Tetsuya's the card that went to $20 because everybody's looking for it. It's only a double rare. Like, Tetsuya's my problem card with the deck.
Okay. Austin.
Oh, I've been waiting to say
I
something.
I don't think we should let him
I want to
very biased to
started it all.
Apparently,
started it all.
I'm gonna let the Dungeon World player speak and tell us how bad this deck
Where to
is.
start? Well, from my past game experience of the one set that came before it, or 2, I guess, I looked at Dungeon World. Well, let's look at Katana. Katana has a lot of good cards, I think. They actually a lot of solid support. Underworld is really good. Hades is pretty solid. But then on release, they got a lot of just cards that were like, oh, okay. And then Vanilla's alright, thanks, I guess, Wishy Road. They were just in weapons that weren't exactly the greatest. It's like, well, okay, this deck has a lot of potential to go places. Danger World was like that too on release. This deck has a lot of potential to go places. This guy get a little bit more things. I feel Seeger was especially like that immensely. It was, I think it's a really solid deck. The only problem was there was no way to consistently get Seeger, and if you didn't get Seeger, there was no backup Seeger because there was not enough support for it because they just decided to release a bunch of Wild Dragon Vanillas. So it's like, well, okay, if you don't get Seeger, you lose. That's the game. Then Dungeon came out, and if you look at Dungeon's card list, it doesn't have a lot of Vanillas. I feel Dungeon as an entire set, like an entire world release, it was just extremely ahead of its time. It feels like a deck that had multiple sets put into it, and it just has so many great cards that work so well, and it's so advanced for what it is. It has Form a Party, as Tim said, and it can search literally any adventure. Unlike Mary Sue, who can only search spells, it can search out weapons who are adventurers, impacts who are adventurers, spells who are adventurers, monsters who are adventurers. It's like it can do everything, only to have plays one more mission card, and you get the bonus of 1 more life on top of this. Compare this to every other card in the game. Only Mary Sue does that, and she's a 2 gauge on call. You can only grab spells. So it's like, well, okay. And then you add everything else in, like Tetsuya, who gives double attack, which I think double attack is an amazing mechanic, and you give that for no gauge cost. And then you have Bladewing, who has 1 gauge cost, and you have Drum, who's... Well, Drum is always a great card, so not much to talk about him. But you just look at everything. In Ventures, they got a lot of solid support along with the mix, or along with dungeon enemies who also got some pretty great cards. And then the one thing that really surprised me is that not only did they get a size 0, which it seems that eventually every world is going to get a size 0 in some shape or way, because we have Dragon World not getting a size 0. They got one before we thought any other world would ever get one. Because before we were like, okay, Danger, they get a size 0. Then we never saw another size 0 again. So to see Dungeon come out, which is close to the Magic Katana range of power, to have a size 0, it was very confusing at the time. Not only that, then they released the ability to mix 2 different archetypes, or 2 different races together, into a solid thing. Like, you can mix ninjas and you can mix Skull Warriors together, and it works, but it's not. They don't have support theme that bounce off one another for mixing. That you don't get benefits. Where Dungeon World it does, and this seems like a mechanic that would be later into the sets, like set 6 or set 7, when they're like, okay, we have the races established, let's start pushing them together so you can start getting benefits for using, and then some benefits for not using them together, like Tetsuya, who's like, okay, we don't use a dungeon mix, and you can get more Tetsuyas off. So it's like, it was really weird how the set was released, and even when you look at the shields, they were really great. You got like a sort of like a Death Grip in a way on Pillar of Fire, and then you have a shield that can be activated at any time, or no matter what's in the center or not, for 1 gauge, and can block any kind of attack, and you gain health at the same time. So it's like, there's just so many things on top of that. And then compared to Katana, where they came out and they got bad weapons, no, Dungeon comes out, here's a weapon that you can discard. It's a 5k with 3 crit. All it is just a discard, and then when you go to 0, you can pop it off. And at the chance of having 3 life gain, it's a really, really solid card, because 3 life is not just 2, where if it was 2, it'd be like, well, alright, it's not bad. 3 is a difference, because most monsters are hitting for 2 critical. So if it's a 3 life, that's like +1. So it's 2. It's going to take, most of the time, it's going to take 2 monsters hitting you for another 3 damage. So overall, the world was just, it was so much on release that compared to every other world on release, it blows them out of water, I think. And I'm not sure if they're ever going to do it again, but I think worlds can catch up.
I feel like I could give you another 20 minutes to talk about how good this world is. Like,
I'm trying to rush it.
So what the bottom line is Dungeon World is OP.
I
wouldn't really
like,
say it's OP. I think it's just ahead of its time.
I feel like I hate the deck even more after listening to him talking about it.
I would also like to point out that they have the dumbest card in the game. Why is it that Katana World has to pay 1 gauge for Return to the Underworld, but they have Demon Lord's Dungeon for free?
Right, and it's just
zeros, right?
It can
size
grab
0s and 1s.
0s, 1s, and 2s.
It just says for their call cost, so you could literally just keep popping 0s on your field. Not only that, if you get rid of your staff or your dungeon or your Demon Lord, the actual card itself, Demon Lord's Dungeon, is a Demon Lord, and that can proc your requirement to play more Demon Lord's Dungeons.
Oh, that card, yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
It's weird. It was really a weird set on release. I mean, we have Dragon World. You're now getting a size 0, and that size 0 is amazing. It is a fantastic size 0. It's probably one of the best size 0s I've seen in the game so far. It allows you to do a 4-attack combination before Purgatory Knights are even going to come out to be able to do it themselves. It's really a great size 0, and I think more worlds are going to get this quality support that we've seen from this trial deck. Legend, I also think once it gets this trial deck support, it's also going to be a very, very strong deck. It's getting the cards to become another tier 1 deck, I guess you could call it. But the problem is everything else is just lagging behind, and Dungeon, like its playstyle, just speeding ahead of everyone else. So it's a good thing they haven't released any more support for a while. It doesn't really need it. It's kind of like in a set 6 era, and everyone else is still set 5, set 4, trying to catch up.
While we're on the topic of that, do you feel that, like, when do you feel we'll see next support for it? Like,
For
are we
Dungeon?
talking like, are we talking like 2 sets? Are we talking like 3 sets? Are we talking an extra booster? Like,
Oh gosh, I'm not sure.
not,
Fuck that. Extra booster.
no extra boosters. No extra boosters.
This
All right,
year's
well-
set release
Sorry,
is
go ahead.
awkward.
All right,
sorry,
I
you
want to point out a few things. Jason just said we had 1,800 members on the Buddyfight group, which is awesome. But the next thing I want to go into, while we're talking about broken things, what I want to talk about is the national championship coming up this weekend in Chicago. And I want to talk about the meta going into that, like what we've seen.
Somebody left, and now we're back to 1799. I hate you guys.
No!
That was me. I left the group.
Fucker.
Son of a bitch! No. You guys who is watching, please get your friends to join. Someone add someone to the group, please. Get me back up to 1800. I want to talk about the meta going into this, like what we've seen. We saw Darkness Dragon World get released. Do you guys feel that played any impact on the meta? Like, did it really do anything?
I'm so disappointed.
You're disappointed in the deck. Okay.
Absolutely. I am disgusted by Darkness Dragon World completely. I am. Oh, I am. It's baffling because the spell support is great. The defensive support for the deck is fantastic. The monsters themselves, they also look pretty good on paper. But when you combine the two, they don't mesh at all, and it's an awkward glump. It's like trying to take. I don't even know how to compare the deck. It's like trying to take. I don't even know. It's awful.
It's like trying to use the Thunder Knight spells with a non-Thunder Knight monster lineup.
I guess, yeah, pretty much you could say it like that.
Okay.
It's like
Night Energy doesn't work.
The deck.
Thunder Knights. Night Energy should totally work.
Armor Dragons, right?
So speaking from personal experience, I built Darkness Dragon World when it came out, and I played with all the variants there were. It was a nice deck. I like the idea of it. It's just they have their advantage cards. They only activate at like 6 life. And it's like, okay, these advantage cards, these draw cards, awesome. I love it. But if you're playing against a really really smart opponent, they're gonna play around all these spells because it plays like a black deck. So it's like, okay, I'll destroy your stuff. Your opponent's gonna play around these. So if you're at 10 life and you start trying to rush them with a 2 attack formation, your opponent's likely going to attack their monsters and keep you from going to 6 life, so you can start drawing cards.
Okay.
If you try to activate I hope you don't mind me going on a tangent. Reminder. Do you mind?
Talking, Austin.
Just go for it? Alright, so if you try to attack their monsters, of course, like, oh no, it's okay, I have a Dark Energy. Well, the more you keep using Dark Energy, using a Spectral Strike build, then you're going to be killing their monsters, so you can't really go for Spectral Strike damage. So it kind of conflicts in one way, like it conflicts itself. And if you're running a majority of Spectral Strike size 1s, then, okay, well, if you kill all their monsters, you can just say, I'll attack their center. But then you're swinging them for 1 crit, and it's like, well, that's not that great. Compared to what Dungeon World is doing, it's 4 crit, 3 crit. It's like, okay. So it's like, well, okay, then I won't use Dark Energy. Eventually, you're gonna lose all your monsters, and you try to draw back into it, and you try to play catch up. It's just this giant game of control, and you have to play very, very smart the deck. But a smart opponent can play smarter, so it's a little rough to play until Purgatory Knights come out, and then deck becomes amazing.
So back to the question, not gonna be going into the worlds.
For me personally, it depends. Unless I fight an amazing Darkness Dragon World player who blows my mind completely, I'm not too afraid of it. The deck itself it's okay, but it's not really comparable to things like Gold Ritter, Seeger. Even Seeger has ways to deal with it completely.
Okay. So what deck do you feel? What decks are going to be seen this weekend?
What decks?
Like, give me your top 4 builds decks. What do you think is going to be
at Continentals?
Played this weekend? Yeah, at Continentals.
Well, Dungeon is going to be a very big one. Dungeons and Dragons, it's the usual too. It's the name of the game. Probably just Dungeons, mixed, maybe Adventures. For Dragon World, we're going to see probably Thunder Knights and probably Gold Ritter. And then after that, I don't know. After that, it's really kind of a mixed bag. What I really like about this community is that even though there's a meta, not all the times people say, okay, I'm just going to keep playing the meta. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Players would do. They play what they love sometimes. I've seen a lot of players top with what they love and what they like. And so I've seen a lot of tops in this past few months with decks I never thought anyone would top with. So many Seeker tops. I thought it was a good deck, but no one ever ran it. And even just recently, a Magic World top was like, oh wait, that's really impressive. Especially since the Magic World player has been playing that deck since the Buddy Challenge. So it's quite nice. I think we're just going to see a lot of dragons in Dungeon, and after that, it's going to be a wild bag.
The funny thing about Magic World, and again, Tim and Jason, you guys can attest to this. I mean, like, in the little online tournament we did, in in top 8 there were 3 Magic World builds. I mean, like, you know, of all the things that people could have ran, you know, there was a lot of Magic World. I mean, Tim, you were one. But I mean, like, isn't that I guess not meta? I mean, is that what it is?
I wouldn't say that Magic World isn't not meta. To be specific, Wizards were the strongest set to build, and Wizards are still extremely strong and extremely competitive. They also have an advantage over Dungeon World, which leaves their center open by doing swing with 3 size 1s with 2 crit, abracadabra cheesing.
Yeah.
The whole thing is, it's just that Wizards are expensive, and you have to spend a lot of money to get your Grandfather Clocks, to get your Mary Suits, your Will Glass Arts, to get your Magical Goodbyes, and it's spread across 3 different sets. And there's no trial deck for Magic World. I mean, there's going to be one shortly. But right now, building Magic World is really expensive. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why you don't see them that often. But when you do see them, they do perform very well. And I believe, Michael, you also played Wizards a lot. Or, no, you played 72 Pillars. Did you play Wizards for Chicago?
No, I played Pillars.
Okay.
There was only in Continentals. In the Continentals that we were in, there was only 2 Magic World players. There was me playing Pillars and Christian Rodriguez playing Wizards, and he actually just won Texas again. And then in Chicago, I played Danger, but Scrubulicious Gargantua Punisher beat me.
And I fought you round 1.
Still the best card.
So, Tim, what decks do you think we're going to be seeing? What is like the meta going into Nationals?
What we will be seeing versus what I would like to be seeing, we're going to be seeing...
Do both. Do both. Okay. Tell me what we will be seeing.
The decks that I think we're going to be seeing are going to be primarily Dungeon World, and then secondary Ancient World and Dragon World. I don't know why, but people love Ancient World, and they're going to keep running it, and there's always going to be those rogue people who top with it, so it's going to keep seeing play. After that, I think it's going to be spread out, more dispersed, maybe a little bit more Danger World than the remaining worlds. But the decks that I think are going to do the absolute best, if there are 2 or 3 Wizards players, I would say that I would almost guarantee a Wizards top.
Okay.
After Wizards, I would say Danger World is my dark horse pick. I feel like Danger World has a strong matchup against Dungeon World, especially with, was it Guillotine Cutter?
No, double guillotine.
Double guillotine. So they have a pay 1 gauge, Destroy Your Glory Seeker, and that can really shut down Dungeon World's plays to an extent. And they focus on having a faster game than Dungeon World, and they can destroy Dungeon World's setup. And Dungeon World doesn't have as much to fight Danger World setups as well. Danger World also did get a spell negation, so they can really push for game pretty hard. And I feel like they're probably going to be that dark horse pick that I think might have a chance to bring it home. And then, of course, Dungeon World Mix is going to be the most powerful, biggest, most played contender because, in my opinion, the deck is the easiest to build and the easiest to play out of the other competitive decks. And then Thunder Knights will have a showing too.
Okay. Michael, what decks do you think going in are going to be deemed the meta? Like, what are we going to be seeing in Worlds? Or Nationals, sorry, in Nationals.
Obviously, you know, we've all said it, and I believe Jake, not Jake,
Austin?
Sorry. No.
Tim?
Tim?
Jason. Jason. Yeah, he's going to say the same thing as
we guy. Say the fat guy.
The fat guy who likes food. You like my food. We'll have some food together on Sunday.
It's gonna be Dungeons and Dragons. You know, those are, you know, if we look at all the, like, we're talking about what else could be there. Well, if you look at all the tops, you know, it's first, second, third dungeon, first, second dungeon, dragons, dragon dungeon. It's all dragons and dungeons getting the invite. So I believe people are gonna play the main decks. You're gonna see. I don't think you're gonna see anybody playing Wizards other than Christian Rodriguez. I don't think anybody else is going to be the Magic World. You might see a Katana, maybe a Danger, but I think just about everybody's playing Dungeons and Dragons. And yeah, like, Danger is very competitive. It's one of the only decks that can out-damage Dungeon World. And yeah, Magic World, cool, but Magic World's biggest enemy is Dungeon World, in my opinion. So I don't think you're going to see them get too far. You know, it depends on your pairings. If you're going to play against Dungeon Worlds playing Magic World, you're going to have a bad day. It's definitely going to be an uphill battle. Like, it's going to be the Battle of Bunker Hill.
All right, all right.
We're gonna have a getting address for that.
Jason, what decks do you want to? What decks do you think are going to be in the top? What do you think is going to be the meta going in?
I want Edgardo to go first, and then I'll talk. Because he hasn't said anything in a while. He's been awfully quiet. I want him to talk more about the penetration deck.
All right.
That
Hey, what decks going into this weekend are going to be the meta? Like, what decks do you think we're going to be seeing?
Well, obviously we're going to be seeing Dungeon. Everyone said it and everyone knows it. Dungeon is going to be that deck that everyone has and everyone's already played. But other than that, going in from the Dungeon and Thunder that we've seen constantly, with the new set release, I feel Jackknife is going to make an appearance and Jackknife is going to be there. I've played the deck, I've play tested it. It is an amazing deck. Really, it stands on its own. It's great against Dungeon, it's great against Danger, it's great against Ancient. Really, that deck, if played with the right lineup and in the right mindset, you should make top easily. It's one of those decks that definitely got there. Yeah. But going in, probably Dungeons and Dragons, just like everyone else is stating, and then Ancient and possibly Magic. I know Magic is up there, and again, it is expensive. That's why people haven't been playing it. It's just those Magical Goodbyes, those Mary Sues, those Asmodees even. Hard to find and expensive. But going with Tim on this, definitely Dark Horse is going to be Danger. Danger hits hard. It's what I played at Festival before the support came out, and I surprised everyone with that deck. I mean, even before the support, it was fine. It really just comes down to how you play the deck. That's why I like this game a lot. It doesn't always come down to meta. There's a huge structure on the mindset of playing the game and playing with your opponent's mindset. Because I mean, I played going into that. Well, how many rounds was Festival, Austin? 7?
5 rounds in top 8.
5 in top 8. I played 2 dragons and 3 dungeons before top 8, and every single dungeon was an easy matchup because every one of them, as they stated, was scared of double guillotine, and that card alone is what helps Danger beat Dungeon. But even still with that, you can bluff a lot in this game. A lot of people don't realize that, and a lot of the mindset that I learned with Austin, just between me and him playing and playtesting, is going all in is not a bad thing to do.
Don't tell everyone how to beat me.
I know. Because when you go Demon, swing straight into center, swing with a weapon, and swing with a 0, and you win for game because they decide that their monsters are more important, it's funny. But now with the new support, there's a lot more options that you have, especially with the counterspell. But I know for sure I really want to see Jackknife up there because I feel like that deck is at its highest potential right now. I'm sure we'll get more support later, but even right now, it's up there with Danger or with Dungeon and Thunders. Because Thunders, I feel like that is mainly because it has so much advantage with just the card draw and the movability.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, Jason. Back to you. I bet you though, Eddie's his response made you very happy. Jason's been a big
I
fan.
have been a big Jackknife fan for quite a while.
SP, yo.
Yeah, I love his deck. I like the picture you got of all your SP Jackknives.
Oh yeah, that is still on my table right now. I need to finish putting that up.
Put that in a vault somewhere.
There,
steals it.
Well, because I have all the Tsuki stuff. I have the playmat, the deck box, the sleeves.
Okay, so
figures,
I mean,
yeah.
The only thing I want to say about Dungeon World is Greece's whole meta. Okay, you guys didn't laugh at that. Only one person showed up to fucking Buddy Fight in Greece, and it was a Dungeon World player. Henceforth, Greece's whole meta is fucking Dungeon World.
Okay, wait, hold on. That guy ended up winning.
That's the fucking meta of a whole country. That's how good it is.
That guy ended up winning, though. Like, he ended up winning the European Nationals.
I know. So that's what's even better is the
All
fact
7 people who showed up.
he showed up to his freaking, country's qualifier where he's the only one. Okay, instant in, and you think, wow, that guy just totally, just free in, and then he wins the.
That's because the country knew. Country knew was an amazing player. So you know what? No, we're done.
They didn't even come here. They didn't waste their time. They said, "You will support our whole country," and that's it. But yeah,
Here you
that's
go.
what I wanted to say about Dungeon World. Okay, so you guys are saying like Jackknife would be great at Worlds if it could win. People should be playing it. Well, on that counter, then we haven't seen Legend World top at all. What is the problem with Legend World? I mean, Legend World is, I assume, designed to counter Jackknife.
Which version of Legend are you talking about? Heroes or Asgard?
The hero build.
Well, from me and Austin's perspective, I'm pretty sure we agree on this. It's a slower version of Dungeon.
I'd say it's like a mix of Dungeon and Danger without all the cool choice Danger have and all the cool choice Dungeon have. So yeah, it's a slower version of.
It's too slow to win, you think? It's just too slow. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's too slow. I think that it doesn't really do anything. Like if you look at Knights, people love the Knights, but they don't do anything. Cool, you got your silly link attack things, but they don't do anything. Excalibur is not a good card as much as everyone wants it to be. Like it's just not. And
can't be negated by shields.
Doesn't matter. Get it out. That's the problem. Get it out before you lose. And then
I've had people get that out on me. That's a terrible card to deal with.
Because you're slow, John.
If they get it out, the Widar Circle, they don't do anything. They have to create dual hand, but all their stuff is huge with for one crit. All right, cool, man. Now you got your 2 crit. Have fun.
They have a giant fish penis.
Doesn't do anything.
And it has penetrate.
Yes, penetrate.
And with Decree of Dull Hand, it's a giant fish penis with double penetrate.
Ooh.
I gotta meet
for me in Legend, to go a little bit more onto that, if we want to talk more about Legend, I like the concept of the deck. It seems like a bunch of Tsukus from Dungeon, and then you take a lot of Danger shields, which are probably some of the worst parts about Danger are the shields, and you throw it into one deck. It's kind of a little bit rocky. The weapons, weapon changes is a really great idea. It's a cool idea, but right now the weapons aren't
weapon change.
amazing. Durandal, it's a 6k beater. That's cool. Sure, 1 crit, 3 crit 1. Then there's a 3 crit weapon you're supposed to change out. You're supposed to combo. Okay, I get the ideas. But then you have like Dragon World as Twin Sword, double attack, 5k. Does it completely better, and you just want to sound that all game. So the weapon change mechanics a bit iffy. Heroes, just to penetrate the center, it's okay. Like the only way the big way I find to win the deck, you have to go push them to 7 damage, 8 damage, and then kind of link attack every monster, and then they shield, and then you go, okay, I negate, GG, I win. But Skulls can do that. Like Skulls can do that, Magic World can do that. So why don't you just play those decks instead? Yeah, I find Asgard the best.
You want to be a legend.
Yeah, I find Asgard's to be one of
the better
potential decks. Better, well, not really. It's still rocky, right? It's really rocky right now, but
bottom line is, I think Legend World
is unbridled fun.
Pick.
Yeah.
And going back to some other things you guys were talking about, Magic World. You guys say Magic World's really good, but it's too expensive. I think that's bullshit, because people who want to play the best deck, if that was really true, they would buy the deck and play it.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of budget World Dungeon builds at California. A lot of budget.
That's the thing about Dungeon World, is you could throw any random 50 Dungeon World cards together and win. I mean, as long as you have one of every color.
Shots fired.
Because you can search for any of your one-ofs. So
the only problem is, that is true to extent. I'll give you credit. There's a lot of decks. If you're fighting against this kind of decks where all mishmash, yeah, that actually is quite true. But if you fight, I'll use Arturo if you don't mind. If he doesn't mind, hopefully. If you fight someone like Arturo, he's not using stuff like Dangerous Fuse or random text. So a smart, well-built deck has a better shot at beating a deck using more of Dangerous Fuse.
I personally like his deck because it's very much symmetrical of like 4 this, 4 that, 4 this, 4 that. I like decks like that.
You must hate my deck.
I hate one-of decks.
You must hate my deck.
I hate one-of decks. I'm sorry.
People like Brandon will go in and they'll Dangerous Fuse into 2 forma parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, yeah, you can get sacked really high by Dangerous Fuse.
But yeah, I mean, back to Magic World, the deck. I mean, if it's that good, people would be playing it. So I have to go on to disagree that it's that good. I just don't think it is, and that's why people don't play it.
Well, it wasn't. It was
hold
like.
on. I want Timmy.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do a response to that?
Before you respond to that, I want to say something to Tim. Tim,
Okay.
Thank you for recording your matches and posting them up throughout the tournament. I enjoyed watching you Tim everyone to death.
Ping. Ping. Ping.
And you inspired me to build the Ping of Doom deck as well because I like goofy concepts like that. Tim never plays meta. Like
What's a meta?
Exactly. I love his deck. So now go ahead and counter argue.
Yeah, talk about how great Wizards are.
Wizards have one problem and only one problem, and that's that they have the potential to dead draw. The only problem that I ever have with Magic World, and the only reason I ever find myself like horribly losing, is when I get multiple cards that cost 2 gauge, and you have your, Center of the World Mary Sue, you have your Great Spell My Grandfather Clocks, you have your Drago Wizard Keenus Axes if you're running them in your Wizards build, you have your nice ones, your Abracadabras, and there are a lot of required gauge cards that you have to run. And if you don't have kosher, or if all of your wizards cost gauge, it kind of gets difficult to manage that gauge well. But most of the time, I don't have those issues. So as far as wizards being a strong deck or not, I feel like they're still extremely competent. The fact that they can go fish out whatever they happen to need. I mean, there are times when I've had to use Mary Sue to go get a Key of Solomon just to use her as a vanilla 2-crit beater. And the deck can do that, and it can compensate you for it. So there are ways that you can make it work, but I'm not even sure if I'm necessarily the best person to be speaking on a pure Wizards build. I feel like that is their most competitive build right now. I mean, I run 4 Transflames. I'm bad.
Ping, ping, ping.
Just get a word in about Wizards, if I may. Before I went to the finals or the second day, I guess you could say, of the Buddy Challenge, I remember a lot of talk about Wizards and how they were like, Wizards, #1 deck, gonna win, gonna sweep the entire tournament, and no deck has a chance. So I don't really know where to, I feel you just to say, oh, no, Wizards, or not Wizards, but Magic World in general are just kind of bad now. It's like, well, it's weird because they were one of the most played decks in the Buddy Challenge before, or they were a highly anticipated deck, I guess you could say, of the Buddy Challenge before Dungeon came out and took its place. But I mean, the deck, it has a lot of good options. It has like Oops, it can stop a lot of dungeon plays. Yeah, it can just go bounce your weapon, and having your weapon destroyed or bounced in Dungeon World is a little bit bad, especially for my build, depending on how you play. So, I mean, the deck, it has ways to play, but it's a lot more complicated than playing a deck, say, Dungeon, where it's very, you go, form a party, grab Tetsuya, equip Glory, go Drum Blade, OTK, and try to OTK every turn, and just smash for 10, 11 damage. It's a lot harder to play. You have to, think out every other move, and you have to plan ahead a lot. So I feel like that's one reason it's not played a lot, and it can be seen as kind of a worse deck. It takes time to start doing its thing and really think how every turn is going to play out.
So really, it just comes down to the player. It's not necessarily the deck. It's more, thinking, and a lot of Dungeon World players are autopiloting.
It's
I guess you could say
the
that.
deck also, because what the deck tends to lack is removal. Magical Buy is really good, but it just gives your opponent the card back. It just gives them the card back. It doesn't handle the problem permanently. So that's
true.
the monsters is another. That's why Wizards are seen over 72 pillars. They have monsters that do things. Magic World has the spell support. They don't have the monster support specifically for pillars, and even for Wizards, the really good ones that do things are 1 crit or really small. So it becomes hard to juggle big monsters and also damage at the same time.
Got it. All right, we've kind of got off.
I didn't answer the question. I'm sorry that I totally avoided it.
No.
Okay,
Jason.
So
we'll go back to you.
the bottom
What
line
were you
is,
saying?
is Dungeon World's gonna win. I mean, we're just gonna keep seeing it be good.
I don't know about that one.
You never know.
I would what I would like to see win is Danger World. I've been a huge Danger World fan also since the first two decks came out. I always took the Danger World one, and anyone I was teaching to play got the Dragon World one. Like, I just love the size zeros, the speed, and now all the weapon support and everything else they've gotten. It is a very strong deck.
Got it.
So.
All right. Jason kind of answered my question, but I do want to ask simple, no really great explanation, but what world will win Chicago this weekend? Like, what deck? We've talked about what decks, but what deck will win? Austin.
Next? I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to say.
What deck?
I am playing in a tournament, so...
He's playing the tournament. Let's just leave it at that.
So I don't really
Just
say.
say something else now.
I don't want to be like, I think Dungeon's gonna win. I go.
Okay, so then
you
let's change this, Austin, for you really quick. What is going to be your number one matchup?
Oh, number one matchup that I would like to fight?
Yes.
Ooh.
At Continental.
I don't know. I don't want to scare the players away from playing it. I'd like to see a lot of Gold Ritter, actually. I would like to play against Gold Ritter.
Okay. All right, Jason, you've said Dungeon.
Already answered it.
Yep. Eddie, what deck is gonna win, other than Austin? What deck is gonna win Chicago?
I feel like it's going to be between Dungeon and Jackknife, in all honesty.
Ah, okay.
I feel
Michael.
like Thunder versus.
sorry.
I feel like
it's fine. Go ahead.
a little bit higher, in my opinion. It's really hard to get over that wall. It's really hard.
All right, Michael, what deck is gonna win in Chicago this weekend?
It's gonna be John Muir's Thunder Knights.
Ooh.
He is a really good player. I'll give him props. He is pretty good. He's the only person who's ever gotten me to time.
And Austin, you don't even know since like you played him, since you've hanging out with him almost every day. He's prepared for everything.
For the rematch, I can't wait.
Not just for you, for Gold Ritter, for Dark. He's prepared for every single deck. He's
been training under a waterfall.
All right, Tim, what deck is gonna win this weekend?
Honestly, I haven't seen the representation for Jackknife that I would like to see for me to say Jackknife's going to win, so I'm going to go with Danger World.
All right. My pick is Brandon Schamal's Danger World deck too. So I think Gummy Slime is going to win all the way.
You mean
Did he tell you what he's doing with that deck? He's running Gummy Slime as his buddy with no copies in his deck.
Who needs buddy call?
Who needs a buddy call when you have Mission Form a Party?
There was actually some decks recently that posted on the deck recipes where the person ran a buddy and they only ran like 3 or 2 copies of it. I think it was 3 copies of it. I'm trying to remember the deck, but I died laughing when I saw that.
Funny. Okay, so we've talked about Chicago, we've talked about the meta, we've talked about a lot of things. Let's talk about something fun. Especially the last few days, we've seen a lot of leaks for BTO 5. Especially like the sneak peek stuff. Ed, you posted a thing the other day. What unit? Oh, there we go. My bad. Yeah, sorry. I was saying we know what's in BTO 5. We've seen a couple of the things. Like, what do you guys want in BTO 5? Like, this is like our DOT MLB set. Like, this is supposed to be that set. So, like, what in there should we expect?
Magic World? Woo woo!
Like, okay, so when you say Magic World, though, do you want 72 Pillar? Do you want the Asmodee stuff? Do you want Wizards? What
Go like fuck Wizards. No, I'm I'm excited for the Pillar stuff.
You hear that, Harry Potter? He's coming for you.
Avada Kedavra.
Yeah. But like I said, Pillars was my first deck. Like, I bought Asmodees when they were $27 a piece on eBay in set 1. You know, like, that's my baby right there, and I can't wait for new support. I'm highly interested in the Asmodee things, but I don't expect it to be game breaking. The Asmodee that gives you a life when he enters the field is really cool, but he's a 1 crit. It's like, come on, let's get away from this trend. You know, let's get some 2 crit monsters that do things. Like I said, that's the biggest problem I find, is like good monsters. But I'm very highly interested to see what's in this set. as in general, but primarily the 72 pillars.
And I was going to ask you, what do you think about Solomon's Great Barrier?
I think it's a fun, gimmicky card. I thought the card was like funny but useless before I turned the thought into, well, what about the set 2 pillars that came out when you had the 525 vanilla, the 426 vanilla, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You can make those size 1. And I was like, well, then you can do things. You have bigger stats, bigger crits. And I was like, well, one of the biggest pushes that pillars play is Devil Fever. So you can't Devil Fever those out of the drop zone. So, and even if you, and then the problem becomes you have to draw the Great Barrier, where, dragons, you'll have them complain, oh, I didn't draw a shield and I play 8, I play 10, I play 9, whatever it is, you only have up to 4 copies of this card, and if you're playing 4 copies of this card, what did you take out? Like I said, they have the spells, they need the monsters. So the Great Barrier is cool. I think it might merit some messing around with, but I don't think it's going to become a very competitive card.
Okay. I know you have buddy rares of I call him Dennis Leary, but do you expect great support for Darkness Dragon World this time around? With the rumor going around, there's going to be a grade 0, the ability to keep restanding without double attack. Do you feel that deck's going to get a lot of love?
I'm picking up a case for myself because I want Pillars and I want Darkness Dragon World because I wanted to play Purgatory Knights and I saw Death Sickle and I was like, oh, I can't wait. So I held on to Blue Shields, held on to Halberds just in case, and then they turned into Darkness Dragon World. So that's why I actually play Darkness Dragon World now. But I definitely think there's going to be some good things. Like that set spell we found is really good. That card's really good. And then, but the size 0, there's definitely going to be a size 0. It was in the manga. There was a picture of it. The weapon is like, the impact, I want to see, again, Darkness Dragon World, I feel, suffers from 2 things. The unsynergetic nature of its spells and monsters, and it has the same thing as Magic World, where its monsters are like, You have some really good ones like Gallows. You have Demios, which has really high potential, but we have to wait and see. Like, I do expect some good things, especially because Tasuku is going to be playing it, so I think they're going to give him a little bit of love. For what, we have to find out. Because apparently, when Demios came out, there was some rumor going around Japan that he's part of a 6-attack combo, so I want to see how that's pulled off.
This is true. This is really it. I'll wait for my turn, but...
Yeah, no, don't worry. Okay. I want to go to Tim real quick. I want to see what Tim's expecting because I know Magic World's in there, and I want to see what your thoughts on the set 5 is going to be.
Well, Magic World is going to shift back to 72 pillars, definitely. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they get because my original burn deck was 72 pillars using Diabolical Hardcore. I'll definitely switch back if they have better support for it than Wizards. But what I really wanted to touch on was I didn't really get a chance to talk about my opinions on Darkness Dragon World. And honestly, the way that I feel is the absolute best way to play that deck right now is to just go pure vanilla. Play creatures that have no gauge and just use all of your destroy spells to destroy things. And then ignore Spectral Strike, ignore Shadow Dive. You don't need them. You just need creatures with stats that can attack your opponent and deal damage. And play it that way. Well, Purgatory Knights are mostly vanillas. So I feel like Purgatory Knights, if they continue with their current theme, and if they get a couple more 2-crit or 3-crit size 2s, then I feel like they're going to have a very strong matchup. And then the 6-hit combo, all they need to pull that off is a size 0, which we're pretty sure they're getting, because Demios attacks, attack with that, attack, sack 1, stand, attack with your weapon, sack 1, stand, attack, there's 6 hits there. That's a lot of offense. Even though counter spells can stop it, and it's not like unpreventable, that's still a lot of attacks to be going out all at once. But what I'm really excited for is the Katana World support. We've already had one revealed and it's already the most beautiful card I've ever seen. I mean, honestly, I think the art's ugly, but it's a 5K 2-crit 4K size 2, and its effect is call cost, pay 1 life. When this card enters the battlefield, search your library deck for a set spell with Demon Way and the attribute. So right now we have something that can go and fish for Return to the Underworld, which is the key card advantage card for the entire deck. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what else Katana World has in store, especially if it's more Skull Warrior support.
I want to see that beautiful white ninja on the cover.
Interesting.
Because
Eddie, what from set 5 is exciting you? What are you looking forward to?
Darkness Dragon World, in all honesty. Just because it's Tsuku, main character type of thing. It is going to get a lot of love. I mean, even with the SPs, we saw that they were hinting towards Tsuku with Death Grip. And even the impact that's in the trial deck. I don't know. Other than that, as we've seen, we know there's Skull Warriors and we're getting Ninja support. Besides that, we know we're getting 72 pillars. I'm pretty sure they're going to give something to Wizards. They kind of have to, just because why not? But in terms of Dragon World, I don't even know what they're going to touch on. Like, it might be more jackknife stuff, or it might just become another archetype, throw in, toss, whatever, into the set to fill up holes.
I don't feel like they're going to do that with this being, like, again, like that big set that we're all expecting.
Well, I know we're getting the drum. I know that. We're getting another drum. I think it's going to be either a level 3 or level 2 again. But besides that, there's no, like, hit-on that they're going to. I mean, we already saw that the half deck, which is in Japan, gets the Red Dragon Shield and the level 3 Drum Buddy Rare. But we don't know if we're getting that yet at all. So if anything, they'll end up probably just giving us those cards in that set, and then they don't release it to us. But then that would make the set different for Japan, which, of course, causes a lot of problems, but we'll see. So far, Bushiroad has been pretty good about giving us promos that have been released in Japan for Buddy Fight. So I'm assuming that double deck thing will either come out to us as a set or in the sets, or they'll actually release it as a double deck. But I don't know. Right now, I'm definitely looking forward to Darkness Dragon World because I want to see what Tsuku is.
Okay. You know, I want to do it. Austin, what are we expecting in set 5?
Woo! Okay, well, I'm going to give an overall view of the set first. I'm actually really excited for the set. I hope it... I don't like playing Dungeon World and being that guy who plays Dungeon World, because I did play it when it first came out, partially because when I played test with it, I'm like, this is a really solid deck. But I really do like the idea of it, of teaming up with your monsters. Adventures are awesome. Mission cards, I would love. Like, I'd like to see every other deck to catch up, and I think set 5 very well could potentially be that deck. When worlds aren't being suddenly released like Katana and Magic World were, and they're getting actual support, they do kind of okay. They did really good with Danger. Oh, they did alright with Danger. And I'm just hoping that set 5 is going to be kind of that catch-up set. It brings Dragon World, well, Dragon World with size 0 is alright, but it brings Dragon World up to par. Brings Katana World definitely up to par, what it deserves to be. Same with Magic. What's the third? Oh, Darkness Dragon World. That's the one. From playing with that, well, the Purgatory Knights have actually been proxying a little bit with just the limited amount of stuff we got out, the vanillas and whatnot. And right now the deck is extremely solid. I proxied the size 0 that we saw in the manga. It's an amazing deck. The deck it can actually OTK better than Dungeon can, but not as consistently. I know it's surprising to hear, but the fact that if it gets its ideal formation up, which is a size 1, any size 1 on the side, size 0 in the center, and Demios along with the Fatal Blade, you can do like about 10 to 13 damage. And the best part about it is, unlike Dungeon, which does a 4 crit swing, a 3 crit swing, and another 3 crit, it does 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, like rapid 2 hits, 2 hits, 2 hits, kind of like Aqua Force to play Vanguard.
There's a consistent 6 attacks every turn if you get 2 other monster slots filled with Demios on the field and then a weapon.
And since it kills your monsters, you aren't worried about your opponent attacking into your monsters. They're eventually going to be forced to attack into you, which are going to trigger your 6 life draw spells and your 5 life add from graveyard. And once you start getting those together, along with all your smacking face, it really actually comes well amazingly. And this is what Darkness Dragon World should have been and is going to be. It is probably going to be one of the best variants, I'd say. The decks, the monsters, they worked well, amazing with each other. And these are just the vanillas. We haven't even seen size 1s or other size 2 effects. So I think the deck is going to have a very good meta chance, assuming we get more really good support like what we have so far.
Got it. Jason, set 5. What do you want to see?
I want to see dual world flags. You can laugh all you like, but I mean, they have the sub-archetypes spread across different worlds at this point. So I just assume at some point they'll have a kind of multi-world flag. I don't know if it'll just pertain to like hero cards can only be run in this deck or Purgatory Knights or what it will be, but I don't see why not at some point. I mean, set 5's probably not the set, but that's what I'd like to see.
Got it.
Other than that, I mean, all the other support sounds exciting. I'm looking forward to the Magic World support the most.
Yeah, that for me, I mean, I've seen 2 people say they've been playing 72 Pillars. I mean, when we started playing this game, that was my first love, and now they have Darkness Dragon World, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think we're gonna see a lot of fun things. I just wish it came out before Worlds. Yeah, I mean, just like you're building this up, and like we've already had these great little releases, and now it's like you have to wait till January. So it's just like one of those things where it's like we're gonna have it in January and no events.
That's kind of like what set 1 was in the first place.
What was that?
That was kind of like what set 1. Here's set 1, and there wasn't an event until I think a month after set 2 was released.
Yeah, I mean that's how Bushiroad's system is set up right now. But they need like a spring event. Like if anyone remembers Stand Up Cup for Vanguard, they need that. Like they need that back now more than ever. So they need to have that that kind of a concept going on. All right. So my next question about BT5 is, what do you think the Buddy rare will be? Like what card will be the
Hero
Buddy
World.
rare? Okay.
Hero World.
Right there,
Hero
right? It was Hero World. All right, we got Austin, we got Eddie with Hero. Jason, what do you think the Buddy rare will?
It'll be Hero World.
Probably card burn specifically.
Yeah.
Cardburn. All right. And then Michael, what do you think?
I really don't know. Hero World will make a lot of sense. Bushiroad's been a little bit with that, so I don't know if it will be Hero World. I have a feeling that we might not see the end of Darkness Dragon World after this, or as well, it could also just be another dragon card. You'll be like, oh look, we're restarting into the new era. Here's your new dragons.
Okay.
Hero would make the most sense, but I'm feeling it's probably
There's gonna be some random thing in there. All right.
Yeah.
Blake, welcome back. We were just talking about set 5. We were talking about what the Buddy rare is going to be. Do you have an opinion on what the Buddy rare will be in set 5? What world? Sorry, I should say.
Oh, what world?
Yeah,
Hold on. What worlds were in it again?
Well, right now they have Magic, Darkness Dragon World, Dragon. Someone help me out here. Katana. Was there anything else? No.
Probably
Honestly, I want to say Katana because they haven't seen a Buddy rare yet. I don't think so.
Well, it can be
Neither
anywhere.
is
It doesn't have to be.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be like part of the clans or in the set. I mean, we saw Ancient World before it was even released, so.
Yeah.
True. I want to say that, or maybe.
Yeah, but I mean they did that with So I think Hero. I think especially since they've been released on the show now, or we've seen them on the show. I think they're long overdue since we've had them.
Yeah.
Episode
They've been
1.
hyping them up
So
so long.
it's time to give Heroes the love they deserve. And next, actually, that's our next topic, is talking about what do you think they'll do? Will they be something fun? Will they be something actually somewhat competitive? and overall impact on the community? Do you think this is going to be the deck everyone's going to run to get? Is it going to be another like Darkness Dragon World?
Hero World? I agree. I think so.
I think it's going to be another Seeger in a way. From what I've seen in the community, Seeger is a very big fan favorite for a lot of people. The character, people love him. They love the idea of Seeger. And this deck itself was like, it was introduced in Extra Booster. It had a little hard time getting off. I think Heroes are going to be one of those fan favorites again. The deck itself, for what I think it's going to do, I think it's going to be a bit like Jackknife in a way, what Jackknife Gold Ritter does, except more accessible, not like a final boss crazy weapon card. It's going to be like a, just, oh, this is what happens, this is how it does. I mean, they combine, so I feel like this is going to be, you see the characters jumping into mechs, and the only reason I can fathom that even is that, okay, they're going to have defense, and the entire deck is going to be based on having a defensive
strategy.
Yeah, like they can equip the monster, and they can have defense on it because they equip monsters themselves. So, which would explain why when you see it in the anime, you only see cards like Bahamut attacking 11k power monster attacking the item character person.
Okay. Card burn or
Card burn like a Jackknife, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, what's also interesting is they have the character inside card burn. So.
Oh yeah, in like the robot.
Yeah, like instead of like walking with him, they're actually inside him, which is kind of makes sense to it be in that same aspect as Jackknife that you equip him. But we'll see.
Well, do you think they're more maybe like more weapons then? Like maybe they're more like Legend World in that respect, where their equipment change. Maybe that's why they did equipment change the way they did.
Maybe not necessarily like equipments, but more like you actually the monsters themselves are items. They can become items. Not like how Jackknife, it's you kill a monster to equip this item. It's you move this monster onto your item area and then it becomes like acts like an item.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be grab the 3 cards, put it under the soul of this to do it, or even like, so I don't know. It'll be interesting. It seems like it would be like an equipment, but we'll see.
Okay. Tim, what are your thoughts on Hero World?
I see a lot of, from what I've seen in the show, it seems like there's going to be a lot of have X card, Y card, and Z card on the field, and then get super magical ultimate X card. That's how it's looking so far.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh! XYZ Dragon?
XYZ, WXQ, WB, XB, WQ Dragon, Y Cannon, Laser Zord, Megazord, Hyper Megazord, Megazord.
See, I kind of like that.
Pendulum Summit.
Like,
You forgot
that focuses more on like having making the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger concept, making a Megazord on the field and having it being a powerful thing.
Purple Ranger.
I am kind of wondering, like, Tsuku was playing Hero, well, not playing, he was using Future Force with heroes, and he's just like, I cast a spell and it stops all of your attacks. I want that spell.
Right.
But it seems to me like they're going to be Legend World-like, and they're going to have consistency issues unless their spell support is so toolboxy that it makes Dungeon World cry. That is my honest opinion. They're going to be a fan favorite and over-the-top deck that's inconsistent, even more inconsistent than Seeger was before, and it's going to be a fun deck that you play, and then you have your Infinity Power unit that you equip. Like, literally, in the show, they put 3 of them together, they had Infinity Power. I mean, that's what it seems like they're going for.
Michael, what are your thoughts on Hero World?
I'm kind of gonna go on the other side. I'm gonna say I think the world's gonna be kind of garbage. I can really only see the world going 2 ways. If they so far they only showed the hero cards, and you need the 3 monsters in order to turn into the 1. My big problem is, alright, so do you need the 3 monsters, and then you also need the big one in your hand, and it says like, put them into the soul, whatever, or because otherwise you're going -3 to do that, and that card better be worth it. And if it's not worth it and it's underwhelming, then it's going to be overly upsetting. The same thing, either with you use Gundams or you use the Quartet 5. I don't think they're going to be all that good. Like Tim said, it's going to have to be really toolboxy. I want to see what the aliens are going to do. I have a friend who's still super upset that we haven't gotten the pink octopus.
Hentai!
We know what Hero World Border looks like, though, unless they decide to change it.
Oh, they're definitely gonna change that. I mean, they changed Dungeon like 5 times before it came out. So
That's true. Well, I mean, they showed it in the anime, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I want to see the aliens. If anything, I think that card might what is it? What's its name?
Martian UFO Takosuke.
Yeah, I think that could be the buddy rare over anything.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's a good
point. That's a good point.
What do you think the value on that will be?
Through the roof.
I will get a playset, just because.
Based.
That's funny.
We're gonna make all of these illegal decks with Paruko and Takosuke, and they're gonna have the leak
Tentacle
attacks with
monsters.
tentacles.
Tentacle Oversleeves, got it. I know what to buy. Hey, they're real. Just saying, they're real.
They're coming. Yes. All right. Jason, thoughts on Hero World?
Yeah, tentacle monsters. I want it. Kurotsuku Dyoji. It's gonna bring my hentai back.
Jason, you want tentacle monsters for your penetrate deck?
Yes, I do. You see where I'm going with this? Tim brought up the fair point of mixing, Peruku in there. It sounds like lollies and tentacle monsters. That's the deck.
Then we need to bring in some fish penises too.
For the double penetrate action, the DVDA shot.
Oh, gee. The money maker.
All right. Well, that's all right. Good. Who did I get everyone on that? The Hero World.
Yes.
Am I asking? All right. All right. Last but not least, that was my last topic, but I have a couple of questions that people have wanted to ask and have messaged me. So I'm just going to throw a couple of question out there if you guys feel you got a response, but I'm going to try to do as many of these as possible. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So let's see here. We're going to start with Matthew Simon.
He was the one who won Canada with Shinzangumi, right?
Yep, first place.
No, that's a different guy. That's Simon Van or something like that. Isn't it?
Too many
I got
times.
thrown off that Simon.
Too many Simons.
Simon says what?
He says that's funny. If you could transfer a card from a different world to another world, what would it be and why?
Ooh.
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 Dungeon world.
I'm pretty sure Mission Forma Party is just kind of goes everywhere in that aspect.
What card do I want for dungeon? I mean, I pretty much have everything.
Austin, you need equipment change.
Yeah, equipment change. I would actually, you know what? I was thinking about that recently. I would love equipment change just as kind of like a gimmicky thing where I can I'm a job as a warrior now. Now job change into a wizard. Now job change into a ninja. Yeah. I think that'd be hilarious. I'd love it. I love all the silly RPG things with it, so I'd like to see that.
Actually, you know what you need? You need, Austin? You need, the damn spell. I'll get back to you on that. I'm trying to think of what it is.
Okay, call me crazy or don't call me crazy, but what about Pridwin in the Seeger deck with Seeger on the side?
I don't know. You need the gauge build up, and if you play Rise and Fall, that's the 2 life you paid for Pridwin anyway.
Well, Pridwin, you can double the, essentially every gauge would be a life, but then Dragon Emperor Legend also would add to that, and you have so much extra gauge. If Seeger's on your side, they're not going to be going for Seeger.
But that's half the defense of the deck. Like, if any Dragon World player is ever smart enough to side promo Impact against Seeger, they're going to win every game. It's a maximum skill, Breaking Flame. It takes your opponent's center monster and puts it on the side. If that ever happens to a Seeger player, they're gonna cry. So, half your defense is choosing to let Seeger lose a soul when to rat trigger, etc.
I agree with that extremely amount. I'm actually really surprised because of that they haven't got Seeger itself hasn't got a gun rod of sorts. I mean, I understand. Oh, Seeger, you're supposed to bond with him and put all your life in him. Yeah, but no. Give the deck like a gun rod or some sort of.
I'm pretty sure we'll see something within equipment.
I kind of expected it in the extra boost to be like, nope, here's a bunch of vanillas.
Actually, you know what I'm
Don't
expecting?
run Burning Bow in your Seeger decks?
Well, we have one Seeger player, We have one Seeger player. Or, like, our locals here is kind of like everyone has at least one of the decks, so we can play against anything. But I feel like what Seeger would benefit most off of is like a dungeon enemy staff where it gets the counterattack plus buff, because then you could just keep it alive, just constantly. Just
That'd be really good.
buff. Like, I think that's what Seeger needs. Like, if they were to grab anything, they would grab that dungeon enemy staff and put it in Seeger deck. And just make them 10k, make them 15k with counterattack. Make them a wall that you can't get over.
Theory crafted a few weapons before the deck actually came out, and a few of them that I thought of was something like Gun Rod, but it deals the damage to you and your opponent. You know, take a life, give a life. Also, deal one to your opponent, gain one, or just rest it and you gain a life every turn. I don't know if that's unfair, but
I feel like
those are some ideas I thought of, but we didn't get anything.
right, yeah.
We got generic 0.
All right, guys, I want to move on to a couple more of these questions. I'm sorry.
But I want to bring all the Dragon World shields to Danger World. End of story.
Austin, that
Austin
the card that I was thinking of for dungeon, they need Devil Stigma.
I'd actually rather have a. Sorry, I know you want to move on, but just, it popped in my head. I would like to actually see some sort of jackknife-like card for dungeon enemies. Since you're supposed to be the final boss, why not give a final boss-like item or some sort where it has giant amounts of defense that you have to get over? I think that'd be cool. But
That'd be
that's
cool.
It could actually be like a dungeon, like the monster itself is dungeon.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so I want to do this one from Robert Mansauer. Do you think Bushi has other unannounced worlds in the making? What do you think their themes will be? Like, do you expect more worlds than what we have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bushi did already announce during one of their meetings that there will be significantly less worlds than clans in Vanguard. So we might get a few more, but I don't know how many more we're gonna get.
Well, I mean, we got a lot of stuff that still. We haven't seen too much from Dungeon World. We haven't seen too much from Ancient World. We haven't seen too much of any hero. There's a lot of potential still to grow. And Legend 2, Legend keeps growing, which I'm happy about.
There's potential, yeah, but let's also look at Grand Blue from Vanguard, where they got some stuff set 1, set 2, and they didn't get anything till like set 6 or 7. And then they didn't get
Set 6.
Set 6.
12, set 13. And then they got like 7 cards, so that equivalated to 1 card per set. So we might not see support for too many other worlds. They should support the worlds that are out, but they might not.
Is there like a world or theme you'd want to see made?
That I would want to see? Maybe something with angels. I think that would definitely be pretty cool.
Celestials. Yay.
Okay.
For me,
Anything Legend gets close to that.
I really don't want. I'm kind of against more worlds. I think after Hero World, they need to stop for a second. All right, let's build up a few sets of support until they introduce like a new protagonist or a new antagonist running a new deck. I feel as of now, we're pretty solid on world choices. We have a good amount of spectrum. The only thing we're missing right now is an aquatic deck to kind of complete the circle.
Mermaids.
Yeah, mermaids, some sort of aquatic deck like Aquaforce.
Bermuda crossover.
Yeah, and maybe a forest deck, like an actual forest-like deck. Those are the two common archetypes that we're missing. But other than that, I think and then give it like a set or two, and then actually they go back into like making 1 or more 2. But I don't want as many as Vanguard. Absolutely. not.
Right now we have 8 worlds plus generic, and then with Hero it's 9 and generic. So that's 10 if you count generic as its own world, since it has its archetypes of Tarot and chess. So.
And each world has different archetypes. You can build decks, and each archetype you can build different. So there's definitely a lot of diversity within themselves as well.
There's way more diversity in this game than Vanguard, period. I mean,
Vanguard's really cookie cutter.
You can mix all sorts of shit in this game together and have it work where you can't in Vanguard. Unless you're Tim.
Not even Tim can do as Tim anymore if the new rules, if they bring that in.
Yeah, the new rules.
That rule is purposely put up for Tim.
I actually think it's fair, because if I can move 1 unit to Soul and have 2 39k rows from it, it's kind of dumb.
That's true.
All right, next question. Let's see here. Why?
Deck isn't gonna
Also,
last long.
why do you choose the world you play? Kind of generic.
Well, guys, want to do like an order thing for this one?
Yeah, Austin, go ahead. What card do you or why do you play Dungeon World?
Well,
And not just because of the beefy support.
well, actually, I was testing for Chicago, or not Chicago. I was testing for California 2 weeks beforehand, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take Thunder Knights. I'm gonna do Thunder Knights because that's all I got. Dragon. And I was like, oh, new spoilers came out. I saw Wizards. I'm like, oh, Wizards look really good. I was thinking about taking them. And I saw Dungeon. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. And I saw Tetsuya. The second I saw Tetsuya, I'm like, I have to play Dungeon. Just Tetsuya, the card. I always admired Double Attack, as I said before. I think Double Attack is an amazing ability, and that's why I hold a Twin Sword Anthem on a very high pedestal for Dragon World items. So when I saw Tetsuya and the ability to give Double Attack to literally any card, I thought that card had a lot of potential, and especially the search card. So after playing it, I started liking the deck itself, and then after actually winning with it and playing it for a longer amount of time, I kind of like the play style, and I really like the idea and the characters of it. So yeah, I don't just play it because it's meta. I mean, sometimes I do, but I actually really like the deck. The deck itself, I really like the concept.
Okay, Blake.
Pushing
Why do you what deck do you play and why do you play it?
I chose Katana World as my starting, and I love it because I fucking love ninjas. And
That's enough said.
That pretty much is enough said. I love ninjas.
All right, Jason. What world do you play and why do you play it?
What world do I play? That's an interesting question.
Everything. What wins?
Everything.
Yeah, it depends. What's winning?
What's winning? I'm a Fairweather fan, unfortunately. I have the cards to build whatever I need to build at the time, and it's what I play.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
order, that's the way to go.
Eddie, what world do you play and why?
Well, currently, I'm kind of like on the pedestal of what to play, but in terms of deck, Heart and Soul is going to be Danger, but not because I wanted to choose it. It kind of chose me. Austin knows what this is about.
Danger.
Double Bloody Rare.
He got double penetrated one night.
By a giant
One
fish.
day I'm trying to open a box.
By his Danger World buddy.
My Danger World buddy.
They've become friends ever since.
He literally went into his soul.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. I really wanted that card, and yeah, it decided to show up.
I actually treated you.
It chose me. That's what I feel like.
So. All right, Michael. What world do you play and why?
I've said it a few times tonight. My baby's Magic World. Back when Set 1 wasn't even released and my friend and I were just messing around with the trial decks, we were going on the wiki looking at what was coming out for Set 1, and we're like, whoa, the Ark! Whoa, this card! Whoa, look at this card! We were like, Magic World just seemed so out of the water ridiculous. And we were like, pop a monster and double attack? That card's crazy! So, like, I love demons, and I was like, Magic World seems amazing. I play wizards, I play mages in any RPG, so the deck based on magic spells and stuff was the deck I was gonna play.
All right. Tim, what world do you play and why?
I actually kind of play every world, but if I had to pick my three favorites, I play Skull Warriors, and that's like my deck. That is my baby. And then, of course, I play Magic World Burn. But then I've also been playing a lot of this particular troll deck lately. I just randomly decided one day that I was going to try No Size 3 Ancient World. And to my surprise, it play-tested extraordinarily well. It has a lot of the cards that make Seeger function, like Divine Dragon Creation to draw 2 cards, and Dragon Emperor Legend. And all of these great support cards with all of these really beefy lifelink creatures actually ended up being extremely powerful, using Dragonverse to offset the cost of the lifelink. And with Dragon Flame Cascade and Dragon Thunder, I have extremely good matchups against Darkness Dragon World, Dungeon World,
Magic, Katana.
Magic World, and Katana World. and Heroes and Legend World. So that's 5 decks that deck will just destroy. And I don't even have an attack negation. And then I just beat them up with beefy monsters. And then Agisbrook. Agisbrook is one of the silliest cards I have ever seen. It's just a size 2, and then counteract, retire this card, retire a size 1. It is really, really, really silly. But that's my current thing that I'm working on for today. I just love no size 3 Ancient World right now.
Got it. All right. For me, I started this game playing Magic World. You can see my SPs. But Darkest Dragon World, I love the art. Like, so I mean, even though this is not the SP, this is like ridiculously just brilliant. I mean, like some of the stuff that they've like, I love that they pushed the boundaries a little bit with the this game doesn't have big boobies in it like the other Bushiroad games, so I like that they've done a little bit different things with it. So that is my 2 worlds. All right, we're approaching the end here. I have one final question that I really liked. Are you playing Buddy Fight because it is a Bushiroad game, or would you play this game even if it wasn't a Bushiroad game?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
I don't really think
so. Like,
it's not tough for
obviously
me.
we've all played Vanguard, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's played Vanguard here.
No.
Like, is the only reason? No, who hasn't?
Nope. I will not touch that game. Fuck that game. It is garbage.
Okay. So this is good. Like, so how did you get into Buddy Fight then? Like, why did you pick it up?
Well, what happened was, like, I was playing Vanguard like everybody else, and then I realized how bad the game actually was. So around that time, Buddy Fight was actually coming down. Like I said, my friend sat down one day and said, I was like, "You're gonna play Buddy Fight?" He was like, "Yeah, why not?" So I sat down with him and learned it, and I fell in love with the game. The game was amazing. It was tactical. It was not too slow, but so that way you kept it interesting. You were always trying to go to the next stage, next push, next turn always mattered. And it was just so much more interactive. Even at the set, it was before set 1, and it was just trial decks. I was like, this game is awesome. Like, this is my game.
So you did play it regardless of Vanguard. So, all right. Timmy, would you have played this game if it wasn't Bushiroad? Would you have played it just seeing it on a shelf at a store?
Honestly, I am not certain. If someone would have been playing it, and if I would have gotten a chance to sit down and actually play it, I would say yes, I would definitely be playing this game. However, if it was never introduced to me, the only reason why I started playing the game was because it was a Bushiroad game. I already know other Bushiroad products, so that's what got me into it. But I'm not entirely sure if I just saw it on a shelf, if I'd be like, oh, what's this, and then pick it up. So I would honestly lean more towards no, I probably wouldn't be playing it if it wasn't a Bushiroad game, but that's just from not knowing about it.
Okay. Eddie, if it wasn't a Bushiroad game.
I kind of want to agree with Tim on this. I mean, looking with just what had been released, just the 2 trial decks, I mean, I probably would have picked up the Danger World one just for the art itself, but even then, if it wasn't a Bushiroad game, I kind of would have just been like, it kind of looks like a actual just child's card game, and I don't know if it's ever going to get support type of thing. I mean, I'm sure everyone has seen at least one card game they've seen on the shelf and never picked it up and then never saw support of it again or ever saw it again. Because Bushiroad's name is behind it, we know it's going to get support and we know it's going to get pushed. So that's why I was able to pick it up. But I fell in love with the game as soon as I saw it. But if I would have never been introduced to it because of the company or because it was out there, I'm sure I would have just passed it by at some store.
Gotcha. Austin, would you have played this game if it wasn't a Bushiroad game?
Yeah, so I'm the one who says tough because even if it was a Bushiroad game, if I didn't have the fortunateness to stumble upon it, which I'll say in a minute, but I probably actually would have not touched it. When the game was first announced, I looked at the name Buddy Fight, and I thought it was one of the stupidest names I've seen. The card art was awful at the very beginning. I hated the idea of it, and I was like, why is Bushiroad making a new game? They have Vanguard already, why even bother? When Weiss came out, I tried it. I had a great dislike for it, and I never touched any other. I was like, I'm never going to touch another Bushiroad game again. And then for the World 2013 qualifiers for California for Vanguard, me and a friend went to go try out the little Buddy Fight free like testing thing. Hey, we'll play Buddy Fight. I'm like, okay, why not? I'll learn how to play the game. Might as well see what it's about because we got a free deck box, so let's go for it. And then actually playing it for longer amounts of time, me and my friend actually had a lot of fun playing it, and I kind of started to get more into it because of that. And after that, I started to really like the game. So if I've seen it even as a Bushiroad game, I probably would have not touched it unless I had the coincidence to play it. But I would have really regretted it because I love the game. It's probably one of my most favorite card games I've ever played so far. I enjoy it quite a lot.
All right, Blake, would you have played this card game if it was not Bushiroad related? And the fact that me and Jason had to drag you into it.
No, because if it was not related to Vanguard, I would never have even noticed it. So, I mean, I barely got into Vanguard, and that's only because I saw it on the shelf and it was an impulse buy. 'Cause up until Vanguard, I was completely out of card games for the longest time. Last time I think I touched a...
Saved you lots of money.
Actually, the last thing I had was Yu-Gi-Oh, and that was when Elemental Heroes were just coming out, and I stopped after they stopped getting support. And
So, synchro thing. All right, Jason, would you have played this game if it was not Bushiroad related?
I play a lot of games. I'm not afraid to try anything once. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Get the double penetrator.
So, okay, maybe not everything once, but but yeah, I mean, I picked up Vanguard because people in the Yu-Gi-Oh community were talking about it. If somebody, I know like we've seen other games come out that I don't even know how I got into it, but like I'll bring up Kaijudo, even though it's dead now. Like yes, I love that game so much. And I dragged myself into the game. I don't even, you guys weren't coming along for the ride. John wouldn't play. He started to play. Blake was like, I played Duel Masters already. I don't need to play that. But, like, I mean, I didn't even know it was a Wizards product. And then I was like, found it. I'm like, oh, let's try it. I've even bought Redakai cards. I mean, I pick up random shit when I see it, and I'll give it a try. So, this game, I may have picked it up, but would I have ever actually read the instructions and played it with somebody else? I probably not. I would have just picked it up again because like it looks cool, and then put it away because nobody was playing it. If this was the state of where it was at, but if I saw other people playing it, then I'd be like, yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, guys, that's about the 2-hour marker here, and I don't want to keep anyone. I know East Coast there, it's a little bit later. So, with that being said, any final comments from you guys? Anything you would like to say? Other than Dungeon World's OP, Austin.
Anyone up for some ARAM on League of Legends?
You know what?
God.
I could do that.
Oh, yeah?
All right, well, hold on. We're gonna end it. We'll be all in the call after this, but let me end this. I want to thank everyone who watched. At one time, we did have a high of 17 viewers, so I think that's awesome for Buddy Fight. I want to thank all you guys who have joined and been on the call. I hope you all come back and join us. I'll be doing another one after Worlds is over, or after Chicago's is over. Chicago is over to see what won and kind of do a recap of everything. I know I'll see a couple of you there, so it should be a lot of fun. But again, thank you for those who are watching. The remaining 7 keeps going in and out. And I hope you guys had a lot of fun. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, yada, yada, yada. And we will call it a night. Thank you so much, guys, again.
Giant fish penis.
Talk to you soon. All right.
Bye.